I could have done a more realistic play, but I didn't want to do necessarily a realistic play because the character was just not that interesting. But I wanted to tell his story. You mentioned Candy Moore, and I talk about the Proustian Madeleine. And initially, I was going to have Terry Moore, a character that's 4 years older than Danny Wagner or myself, be the one because. But I remember, and this is another thing. Just like something told me to rewatch Bergman's The Silence. A week or so before I started writing this play, I was Googling, as I say in the play, I was Googling up Lucille Ball, and I hadn't thought about this girl. She was this beautiful blonde daughter of the Lucille Ball character in her second show. She was on for 1 or 2 years and then disappeared. She was this big teen star in the 1960s. She disappears. She becomes the model for a well-known Cars album. The Cars were a big rock group in the late 70s, early 80s called Candy O, presumably named after her, maybe not. But I just thought that was so interesting, and I had totally forgotten about it. I had the Valerie Vavello character based on Valerie Bertinelli, who was my little lust throb, heartthrob when I was 10 years old. But I'd forgotten that this girl was in the show that I saw when I was 3 or 4. And I remember as a boy just like looking at this beautiful blonde girl who was then in her teens, and I said, "That's interesting." I totally forgot that she existed on that show because she was only in for maybe 2 of the 6 or 7 years it was on air. And I said, that's interesting. But it was too deep a thing to put in the mouths of this idiot Terry. So I had to have Danny Wagner have that Proustian moment. So that's one of the things where you have to just sort of